Okay, so yesterday we really talked about ActiveCampaign's forms and why those forms are so cool when it comes to streamlining and automating your business. So today we're going to focus on really building out the forms in ActiveCampaign, and based on what service your client is interested in, what automation they're going to go into, and how to build out those automations, and how to even track how engaged with your emails your clients are, and if they're not engaged, what do you do about it? So we're going to be talking about these forms and automation strictly from those in the creative field standpoint, but of course this works for any business, and you can customize this in any way for anybody really. So let's start by creating a form. So when you're in ActiveCampaign, we're going to go to the left-hand side, and you're going to see forms. So we're going to click on forms. And of course, if this is your first form that you created, you're not going to have any of this information here. And even if you have created a form in the past, bear with me here, because we're going to talk about a few tricks that have really helped me and those in the creative field here. So we're going to go to create form, and you're going to go to create inline form, and then you name your form, and then we're going to go to create. Okay. After that, you're going to click book us, or whatever you just named your form. And then you're going to go to where it says my fields and standard fields. And the difference is standard fields are standard fields that your client is expected to fill out when they fill out your form. So that's like their name, their email address, their phone number. My fields are custom fields that you're going to create that will personalize this to your business. So one of the things we're going to use this custom field for is to create a list of services. So we're going to go to, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but we're going to go to add custom field, and mine's type of event, but we can go to services if you want. A field type, we're going to go to drop down, and then we're going to list all of your services in here, all of them. Why is this important? Well, maybe you want options number 1, 2, and 3 to receive the same email marketing, and then maybe 4, 5, 6, and 7 are just so wildly different that you want those automations to receive a separate set of content. Or maybe option number 1, the way I have it set up is that option number 1 is gets a different email marketing than the rest. Now you can set this up any way you want, but we're going to worry about that later. For right now, all I want to do is worry about getting your fields set up and listing all of your services here. So for me, this was festivals, weddings, private events, other, and I think that's it. Okay, after that, you're gonna go find your field, and you can drag it in the form. And then you're gonna go to style, and you could style this to fit in your website. And then we're gonna go to options. And options, we're gonna set up a thank you message on submit. Here's the thank you message that shows up. Or you can open a URL and send them to a landing page. Now here's what's really important here. Under form action, it's going to say subscribe to a list. I'm going to subscribe everybody to the same list. This is really important because maybe I want people who select my wedding service to go in my weddings list, or people who select this service to go into another list. You can filter that later in automations. So right now, we're just going to set up everybody going into one list. Okay, so then after that, we're going to click integrate. Because after your form is all completed, you're going to see 2 embed codes here. You're going to embed one of these codes into your website. Which one do you embed? Well, I had to use the full embed code. The simple embed code didn't work for me on Wix. I have a Wix website, and sometimes it's a hit or miss with Wix, as most of you know. So the simple embed code, or I should say the difference between them rather, other than the full embed code being a lot longer, is the simple embed code. Every time you come into ActiveCampaign and you update your form, you change the colors, you change the information anyway, it will automatically update in your website. With the full embed code, it won't. With the full embed code, you have to go in every time, grab the full embed code, re-embed it on your website. So I had to use the full embed code with Wix, but I'm not really changing a whole lot of information on my forms ever once I set them up. So it really didn't matter a whole lot to me. After that, make sure you click Save. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work in automation. So on the left-hand side here, we're going to go to Automations. And we're going to create an automation. And what I want you to do is start from scratch. So start from scratch, and it's going to ask you for a start trigger. Now, let's see what I named mine here. Okay, here's what mine looks like. Yours will be blank, but it'll ask you for a start trigger. What I want you to do right now is type in when a form is submitted. This is what my form is called, Book Us. And then I want this automation to run. Then what I did here is I added a tag. Just for my own reference, I wanted to know when somebody came through my Wix website. So I did that by clicking on the little plus button, going down to contacts, adding a tag right here, and adding however you want to remember that this contact came from your Wix website. Then what I did is I added a wait step for 10 minutes. I don't like when somebody submits the form and then automatically within seconds, it's just blown up with content. I wanted it to feel a little bit more organic and wait before they're hit with content. So I decided to wait for 10 minutes. So clicking the plus button again, I can go to conditions and workflow and wait. And I'm going to wait for a specific period of time and add however long you want them to wait. Now, here's where we're going to filter the services. We're going to add an if-then condition by clicking the plus button. And I'll show you what this means here, but just bear with me. And you go into conditions and workflow, and right under the wait step, you're going to click if else. Okay. Now, the way I have this set up is if you're going to click here, and you're going to click on custom contact fields. Now, all the custom contact fields you created in your form, aka your services, are going to show up here now. So we're going to click on that, and so mine was called type of event, right? Yours might be called services. Okay, type of event is not, and then your drop-down list is going to show up. Type of event is not a wedding. I want everybody who's in this automation to go down this automation, except for those who are my wedding clients. Okay, it's different content. I don't want to be, my weddings are cover music. Everything else is original music. So it's just different content. So, but you can add more if you want to. Type of event is not also add another condition. It's not a festival. It's not, any other services that you have here where you don't want them to receive this content. So I'll show you what I mean here. This is a better way to see it visually. If the type of event is not a wedding, then I'm going to take them down my yes path, and I'm going to market to them. I'm going to send them content. If the type of event is a wedding, I want to get them out of here, and I want to put them in another automation where I could specifically target to weddings. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put them down the yes path, and let's skip this goal right now. We don't need to worry about that. I'm going to send them a text message, and check this out. Here's how you do it. You're going to go to the plus button, sending options, SMS button, and with this, you really want to personalize your messages, your content in ActiveCampaign. And look at that, there's a big personalized button right here. So you can grab the fields, it'll automatically put their first name, the last name, their phone number, any of the fields, contact custom fields you set up. So like for me, I wrote, hey, blah, 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 thanks for contacting us, so we'll be in touch. And then I could go to the plus button, send an email. You could select one of the templates from ActiveCampaign, or you can create your own email from scratch. And then I grabbed another wait step. I'm going to wait 2 weeks. And then I added another if-then condition. If they opened it, then that's cool. I'm done. I just wanted to send one email here. So if they're done, if they opened it, then I'm going to add the tag open review email. I'm just going to end it. If they didn't open it, then I'm going to send it to them again with maybe a new subject line, like, hey, just want to make sure you saw this email. So that's the left side. Let's talk about the right side. The right side, if the type of event is a wedding, they're going to go down this path, and I'm going to unsubscribe them from this general interest list that we put them under on my original form here. Remember, we subscribed everybody to one list. And then I'm going to subscribe them to my weddings list, and I'm going to end the automation, but I'm also going to add another tag called pending wedding. Now, what this is going to do is I'm going to set up so another automation is triggered by this tag being added. So now what I want to do with you guys is to, and by the way, you could find these unsubscribe, subscribe by going to the plus, and then contacts, and they're right here at the top. And I ended this automation. So as of now, everybody who is not a wedding service is going to go down this automation. And everybody who is a wedding service is going to go down this no automation here. And they're going to get the new tag. They're going to get a tag, and they're going to subscribe to this weddings list, unsubscribe from the general interest list, and they're going to end. So now let's branch off of this. Let's branch off of this weddings list. So I'm going to create a new automation. So let's go to automations here on the left-hand side. Let's create another automation. So this time, let's use a template. So let's go to create automation. And it says search recipes. We're going to type in welcome series, okay? And send a small welcome series to new contacts. Okay, we're going to take this. Okay, you click continue. I'm going to go to my own here. Welcome. Now it's going to ask you for a start trigger. When you do the start trigger, your start trigger is going to be the tag. So to enter this automation, your clients have to have the tag that you just added. So in order for a contact to come in here, a tag pending wedding has to be added. Okay, and now if you have another form on your website, like I have another wedding form on our website on the weddings page, you can bring them in here automatically as another start trigger too, from another form that you have. But for right now, let's just focus on this start trigger here. So tag pending wedding is added, and then I'm marketing to my wedding clients here. Okay, so you can build this now. It'll come, your template will have a few of these here, but you can build them out as much as you want to. Okay, let's talk about the scores now. So if you notice this little green bar here, add 75 points to a contact score, wedding engagement score. So I want to track how many who's interacting with my emails, and I want to give them points every time they do. And I can see who's really engaged with my emails by how high their scores are. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to contacts over here on the left. Okay, so let's exit out of here. We're going to go to contacts on the left, and then we're going to go to manage scoring right here. Manage scoring. And when I come in here, we're going to just set up the score. So we're not adding it to an automation yet. We're literally just setting it up. You can't set up a score in an automation. You have to set it up through here first. So we're going to add a score. And here's what I have here. If the contact is in the automation welcome series, then I want to add 1 point, and they never expire. So whoever comes in my white engagement score is going to have 1 point. It'll never go away. It'll always be in their contact. So now let's go back. Now that I have that set up, let's go back into that automation again. I probably should have just opened up a new tab, but that's okay. Okay. Now my contacts, they're going to have 1 point for just being in this automation. I'm going to add 75 more points, and I'll show you why. We're going to click this green button right here, and we're going to go to contacts. We're going to find the little green bar that says adjust contact score. And there, I'm going to add in the amount of points that I want to start them off with. I'm just going to start off everybody with 75 points. And they're going to expire after 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, you're going to have 76 points, right? With plus that 1 point to come in to score. So they're going to start off with 76 points, and these 75 points are going to expire after 3 weeks. Now, to keep the points going, I want to award them points every time that they click on a link in one of my emails. It seems better to me. You could do award points based on opens, but I like clicks better because that really shows who's engaged or who's clicking on stuff, right? So we're going to create another automation. So we're going to go to automations, and we're going to go start from scratch again. And this time your start trigger, say points. This time your start trigger, check this out here, has clicked on any link in any email and is in your welcome series. So check out what that looks like here. So they're in any email, any list, any link. You can run multiple times, but I'm going to click that segment button, and I'm going to say for this to happen, they've got to be in my welcome series. Now, after that, I'm going to add a score again, add 25 points to engagement score, and expire after 3 weeks. So what's happening now is after 3 weeks, that 75 points is going to expire, and they have to keep clicking to keep getting more points. Otherwise, these points are going to expire. So here's why, obviously if you see a big number, you know that they're engaged with your content, right? Now, here's why I have this set up here. Yes, you called it, another automation. So we're going to go to another automation here, and I just wanted to show you what this looks like. I'm going to prune out anybody who is just unengaged with my content. So I have a pruning automation. So here my start trigger is the contact score changes below 2. So if their 75 points expire and they're not clicking on anything, they're going to be stuck with that 1 point that they got when they entered the score. So let's let's skip this part right here, where you really want to start this automation. Is actually right here, actually. You don't need an if then condition right here. You can just start it by saying, hey, if the contact score changes below 2, then I want them to exit the welcome series. And I want to send them an email that says, hey, are you interested? And I want them to wait a few days and say, if they don't respond, or then I want to send it to them again. Are you interested? And either way, we're going to end the automation, no matter if they respond or not. Now, what does respond mean? Well, inside this email here, I want to know if they're interested in receiving my content still. Okay. So if they click, hey, blah, 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 should we continue to hold your wedding date? If you want us to hold your wedding date, and notice it's populating their wedding date in their name here, then click hold my date immediately. So hold my date, if I make a link here, then if I click the settings gear here, I can end the automation and I'm going to get a notification that they want me to hold their wedding date and they're still interested in receiving their content. And next time we'll talk about actually how to put them back in the automation, back in your original welcome series automation from where they left off. But this is a great way to actually prune people out and not annoy people, right? So, or send people content that are no longer interested. So this was a lot of content here when we talked about building a form, building automations based on what service that they're interested in, and tracking how engaged they are with their content, and by adding scores. And if they're not engaged, building a pruning automation. So there's a lot of stuff. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me. All right, have a great day.